Here we're sitting down with Nick, and we're just going to have a real conversation with this man's experience, which I admire. And, he's going to give us some ideas of how he became an entrepreneur, being in business for himself, and how his philosophy developed.
Anyway, I came from Italy. 1958, I was 59 years old. I had to go to a little bit of school here because you have to be 16 before you could go to work. 1959, I turned 16, and I started with a big company called Power Stores. As a youth in the basement, helping. Back in the days, we didn't have no equipment, but I worked anyway. But I always had that in my mind that one day I want to be on my own, but I didn't have no money to start any business. So 69, I got married. 1970, I became a dad. Well, I was working with this company. They gave me shit because I was making too much money for them. So that's when I decided to quit and try to go on my own, find somebody to sponsor me, to give me some money. I found some rich guy that he got rich by his father, I guess. He gave him all this stuff. Anyway, it became a part. In 1975, we started a store called Tullamore Farmers Market on the Airport Road. 2 years later, we went broke. The partnership was no good. So I decided to go on my own, take over the dead horse by myself, but I didn't have no money. So finally I went to two people. One was my brother-in-law. He says, no, go back to your job. Then I went to my father-in-law and I told him, I said, listen, I got another 3 days because I had 5 days thing to either come up with the money with the deal that we made with the owner. So I did. I went to my father-in-law. I said, well, either you back me out, I need 20 grand. Another 40 you have to sign a line of credit for me. Or else, on Saturday morning, you have your daughter back plus your 2 grandkids. Because I won't have a job and I won't have a house to live in. So, God bless his soul, my father-in-law did help me, give me the money. In 2 years' time, not even, a year and a half time, I give him his money back plus all the interest like I would pay to the bank because I didn't want the other kids of his kids, my brother-in-laws, whatever, say I got rich because of my father-in-law. I want to know them I get rich with my
your own
ability.
Sweat. Yeah, your own ability.
Yeah, I went to work night and day. 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. For 20 years. I had 3 days off. Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day. That's it. Then I got kicked out from the landlord because he thought the money was come from heaven. Back in 1995, my lease was up. He wanted triple my lease. And I said, here's the keys. And for 20 years, his place was empty. And I bought a farm while I was in business over there. Rock Garden, well, it was called Rock Garden. I named that Rock Garden myself, so there was nothing here. And this Gary was nothing other than just a house at the front with no driveway, mud driveway, no gravel, nothing. Walk out to the front of the house, there was 4 bricks right at the front of the house, nothing on, no walk in, no walk out. So anyway, that was 1983, I moved in this farm. I sold my little bungalow that I had in Bolton, and I got here, working again, 9 days down there at Tullamore. 1995, I got kicked out. I started my own business again over here from scratch. And Gary can tell you what my empire is here now. It's worth a few bucks. Okay?
Well, I've been a client of yours for 20 years, and how we met was one day I asked you, how are you doing? And you said, I don't know how I'm doing, I'm just doing. And that stuck in my brain so much so that it was inspiration to me. And I've always felt like you were a silent mentor. I would always ask you questions. You'd always give me some ideas of what I should be doing. And when it comes to the thought process, what is your thought process in your mind for someone to be on their own and run a business and do stuff?
Well, it takes lots of effort, a lot of head work, a lot of muscle work. If you don't have the funds, if you have the funds, then you don't start the business because you're already rich. But if you're nothing, you have to have a lot of guts, a lot of ability that you like to work, and work doesn't scare you. Not 8 hours, not 10 hours, but 15 to 18 hours a day. Somebody else, when they work for a week, you work for 2 weeks in 1 week. Okay? And then maybe but you have to be careful what you're doing. Your wages are number one killer. Then is your waste, second one killer. And then your ability, you have to, whatever, if you're going to go in the retail business, you have to sell, make profit to come out good. But so that doesn't, everybody knows how to do that. You got to, the customer that you're going to get, they always, doesn't matter how wrong they are, they're always right. Because they're the one putting the bread on your table, not you putting the bread on their table. And that's how you make it.
So, as you went on over time, did you have a philosophy of what saving and investing? What was your idea around that?
Well, as soon as I made money, I went and invested in the real estate. I believed in the real estate. Okay, I bought the farm here, bought other things, sold it. While I had the other business. And I built this one from scratch again. I had to do it twice, not once, but twice. Not everybody could have capable of doing that. Okay, and you need health also. If you're not healthy, you're not going to go nowhere. Money, you got to have the health to enjoy the money. If you don't have health, you can have billions of dollars, not worth a shit.
That I totally agree with too.
Okay.
Totally. And lots of guys who have a lot of money and no health.
And no health. What are they going to do with it? When you reach a certain age now, if you don't make it until when you're 55, 60 years of age, forget about it because it's too late to start anything. And if you do make, what are you going to do with it? Okay, so that's the thing. You have to do when you're young. And from the 30 to the 50s, 55, 25 years, you have to sacrifice. You don't worry about holidays. You don't worry about nothing. No vacation.
Then you can have great vacations later on.
Yeah, later on. And the people tell me, oh, you're lucky you're going to Florida for 4 months. Yeah, I'm lucky, all right.
You didn't work 18 hours a day for 20 years.
No. And I still doing it for another 20 years here to get it,
Yes.
to get it going. That's 40 years of my life. But here only at the summertime because of summer business. Over there was all year round. So I get the winter off here. Even if I work 7 days a week, but this is a farm work, in the winter time we'll close up and go away. But you have to put the hay in the barn if you want to feed the cows in the winter. There's no hay, the cows will die.
Right, that's 100% true.
If you don't have no money in the bank, you're going to die too.
I agree. Anyway,
Yeah.
I appreciate your time and great effort of wisdom. And, maybe we'll have to do this again another time.
Yeah, sure, why not, Gary?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, Nick,
Okay.
you have a great day.
You too, Gary.